Hi everyone! Thank you for clicking on another one of my videos. My name is Kim. So it's been a couple of months since I came back from my vacation in Hawaii. We had 2 weeks in Oahu. As you know, or as you may not know, I caught a horrible infection, which I will be talking about in my next video. But in this video, I just want to focus on my experience in Waikiki with the Airbnb that we stayed at. There's going to be a lot of tea spilled in this video, and I'm just still so mad. It's been a couple of months. It's handled now, but just looking back at it on how the owner handled the situation just made me really angry. Okay, anyways, let's start from the beginning. So we arrived in Oahu at around 8:15 p.m. And this is after a 12-hour travel day, and I was just so exhausted. I felt so nasty after like 2 planes and then an overlay trip. And so when I got to the Airbnb, on the website of Airbnb, the owner had told us that it was going to be self-check-in through a lock, and he gave us the code for it and everything. So when we got there, we got an Uber, whatever, it was fine. We got to the hotel and we started trying to unlock our lock with the code that he sent us, and it wouldn't work. And so for like 20 minutes we would try to toggle with this lock, and we finally got it open. And when we opened it, nothing was in the freaking lock. There was no key, there was nobody there helping us. We're from Canada, so then we had no Wi-Fi, we had no data, and he had not contacted me about anything about what's happening with this lock. So I was so confused on why there's no key. So with our me and my boyfriend, our 3 heavy ass suitcase, he just told me to stay there and wait for him while he was trying to get security or something to figure out a lock situation. So I stood there for 30 minutes waiting. I started getting really antsy, and finally he came back and he told me he had talked to security. They're trying to contact the owner because security can't help us because it's like a condo, so only the owner had access to that lock. But what they told me, doesn't even make sense. What they told me was that he didn't even have that lock. The lock expired 6 months ago because he didn't want to pay a monthly fee of $25 to keep the lock. And now he's telling his Airbnb guests that he had the lock and it's a self-check-in and the key was going to be there, and there was nothing in the lock. So when we were with security, I finally had service back, and apparently the owner messaged me at 8:15 saying, "Hey, have you arrived yet? Let me know when you arrived so I can give you details on how to get your key." We arrived at 8 o'clock and he still hasn't told us anything. He waited till 8:15 when check-in was supposed to start at 4 p.m. So what was he doing for that 4 hours? I don't know. And 2, he said it was self-check-in, and that just doesn't make sense. That's not how you handle this, because he knows we're coming today. He knows I told him we'd be arriving around 7 or 8, and he waited until 8:15 to message me. And also, when I talked to him about it afterwards, he was like, "Well, I also emailed you. It's your fault that you didn't check." And I was like, you emailed me at 8:15 as well, and also I told you I was coming from another country, so I didn't have Wi-Fi or data to check. But apparently he didn't care. So we finally got through to the owner. I won't say his name just for privacy reasons. And then he was like, "Oh, your cleaner has it. Just give the cleaner a call and he'll come with your keys." Waiting all this time, and the owner doesn't even know where the key is. The cleaner has it. We called the cleaner, and the cleaner was actually up in our room, I don't know, doing painting, doing whatever. So he was like, "Give me 10 minutes, I'll be right down." And so he came down, and I was getting so frustrated by this point. It has now been an hour since we arrived. We still have not been able to get to our room. And this is after, like I said, 12 hours of travel day. It's basically almost 10 o'clock at this time. The cleaner finally came down to get us, and he was covered in paint. And when we got to the room, it was completely covered in paint flakes everywhere. On the floor, legit, my entire stay for 14 days, I did not go barefoot once because it was so nasty. Every time I went barefoot, I would get some nasty paint stuff or some dust particles on my feet, and I was just so grossed out. So we finally got in. The cleaner was super nice. He was super helpful. Like, he's obviously super apologetic and all that. I was like, fine, whatever. Let's leave this behind us. I'm in Hawaii. I want to enjoy my time. I don't really care now that we're in the room. And so that was the first major issue we had with this Airbnb. Now the second one. So when we arrived, I checked, I looked around, and when I went into the washroom, it was so freaking disgusting. I took some photos of it. I will just leave it here for you to see. All of the corners were moldy. It was not well maintained at all. Paint flakes were everywhere on the bathtub floor. So I wanted to take a shower and I legit had to clean the bathtub before I got in. It looks disgusting. It literally looks like a horror movie. It was 1 a.m. and so I wanted to take a shower, and Tanner is just obviously relaxing by this time because we're both exhausted. It was the grossest shower I've ever been through. Like, there was dirt, there was mold on the curtains, there was mold on the wall. But regardless, I was like, it's 2 weeks, suck it up, you're in Hawaii. So I showered, and the shower knob was like a really old design one where you had to pull really hard for water to trickle out, and the water pressure was super weak, so it was like 3 tingles that came out. Anyways, not the point. So I showered, and in the middle of my shower, I would turn off the shower when I had conditioner in my hair to wait for it to absorb, and then I would do like body wash. When I tried to pull the knob out in the middle of my shower, I was blind because I had soap in my eye, and my hand was slippery from all the soap on my body and stuff. I had to like use 2 hands to force it out. The knob just came off. The entire knob came out of the shower. I heard like a clang of a screw that came undone, and I just stand there. I was like, what just happened? Because now I have a knob in my hand. I have a screw that just fell out. I am naked. I have soap in my eyes. I have conditioner in my hair, and I had no idea what to do because now, where's the water gonna come from and how are we gonna turn it on? My first reaction was just call Tanner's name, and he came in, and I was standing there like this, like, the shower broke. Embarrassed that my boyfriend had to see me like this. So many emotions. It was like my first night in Hawaii too, you know, and like this shit happens. Oh my god. Tanner has to try to figure out how to put the knob back onto the shower. So he took a butter knife to try to put the screw back together because there was nothing else in the room that he can try to use. Obviously it doesn't work. I did what I can do at that time, is try to stay positive, and I used the sink to finish up the rest of my shower. So there was a sink beside the bathtub, and so I just turned on the faucet and I basically just got water and I just threw it onto myself and tried to clean like a peasant. It reminded me of when I was back in Vietnam and I had to do this. Not really a fun experience, no. So after like 10 minutes of trying to wash myself at the faucet sink, Tanner at this point knows he's not gonna be able to fix the shower. He felt bad for me and he's like, babe, like, I'm so sorry. We're gonna just have to try and get the cleaner to fix this tomorrow, but is there anything I can do for you right now? And I was like, can you get me a bigger bucket to put water in? Because I don't want to keep using my hand and do this the entire time. So he went to the kitchen and he got me a pot. I basically just put this pot in the sink, washed myself out of a pot. That was my first shower in Waikiki. After that, I was so close to tears, but like, what am I gonna do? It's 14 more days. There's nowhere else that's available. We're like, we gotta stick it through, and hopefully the shower will be fixed tomorrow. That didn't happen. So the cleaner came around 3 times during all of our trip, and he couldn't fix the shower. Yep, he tried everything and it kept breaking every time we tried. How did we shower for those 2 weeks, you asked? We used the outdoor showers. That's right, we use the beach showers, we use pool showers, we use anywhere, and we got very weird looks for this because it's just me in a bikini holding like shampoo, conditioner, body wash, just doing it up right where all the tourists are, so avoiding it. But there is a little hope in this, and that is our condo also has a hot tub and a pool, so we were able to use that outdoor shower for the 2 weeks, which was nice. I mean, it wasn't the most ideal because every time we would use it, it would be like late at night and it was freezing freaking cold even in Hawaii. Yes, it was windy and cold at 11 p.m. when we used it, but at least it was there for us to use. So here is a little clip and a video of our outdoor shower that I will link here. So after that night the shower broke down, I was really upset, as obviously anyone would be. I made a complaint through Airbnb to the owner, expressing how pissed I was at the shower and how unprofessional he was at communicating for the lock and the self-check-in. And literally all he wrote in his reply was, "Sorry for any inconvenience, please contact your cleaner." And this was because he was not from Oahu, he lives on another island, and so the cleaner is taking care of everything in this condo for him. So literally he didn't care as long as we were still staying there. I was like, he has no sympathy. I literally wrote him such a long paragraph and he gave me a 2-sentence reply. It literally doesn't even sound sympathetic at all to what we went through because of him. Fast forward to the next 2 weeks, I came home and I gave him a really negative review on Airbnb, really long, stating all the cons, everything that we went through, and he tried to take it down. He messaged me back, he's like, "Hey, can you please take it down? It's super bad for the business." Okay. You didn't give a shit when I complained to you 2 weeks ago when we were still in Hawaii and you didn't want to do anything for us, but now that it's public, that everyone else can see what we've been through, now you care? No. So I said, I'm not taking it down. So I told him, I was like, I'm not taking it down. Like, people deserve to know what we went through. And he said, I will pay you to take down this review. And I said, okay, if you give me a refund of half the money back, I would take down this review. But here's the catch. After 48 hours, Airbnb does not let you remove a review unless it violates their policy. And my review doesn't violate any policy, or so it says. So I wasn't able to delete it. And so he's not letting me have a refund, which doesn't make sense to me because I think I deserve a refund anyways, regardless of if my review is up or not. After I told him, hey, I can't delete the review, but I would still want a refund, he never responded back, which is very typical of his personality. So I went through Airbnb myself. It took them like 2-3 weeks to get back to me, and they said, hey, so your review actually violates one of our privacy policy or whatever. So they did take it down, but they also contacted the owner for me to see if he still agrees to the refund, because I gave them like evidence, I gave them photos, I gave them everything that was wrong with the condo. The Airbnb was very upset for me as well about what happened. Finally, Airbnb got through to the owner to give me a refund. That took a month and a half for them to fix this issue. I really appreciate Airbnb for what they did. But oh my god, this was my first time going through Airbnb for something like this, and it literally scarred me for life. Like, I knew it wasn't gonna be like a 5-star hotel or anything because it was the cheapest one that we can find, but literally what I went through, nobody should go through. So that is the end of my tea, everybody, for the day. This is the Airbnb horror story, and thank you so much for listening to me. I hope you learned something from this video or gain some enjoyment out of me suffering for having no shower for 2 weeks. Besides that, thank you so much for clicking and watching this video. If you would like to see more content like this, such as me sharing all of my experiences and horror stories, I have lots, so let me know what you like. Please like and subscribe to my channel. I will love you forever. Thank you, and see you next week.